Okay, y'all. I don't know how this is gonna go. I'm on here again for the third time. But I just want to say, as I was trying to get this right with Facebook, I was noticing that they won't let you say your videos no more for after 30 days, and I was wondering about all this freedom of speech and keeping records on stuff and all this, and all of a sudden is what I'm trying to say, that this is going on now with Facebook. And I sit up and I thought, okay, Lord, if this is you that's telling me to say this, and ain't no record of it later, you know what I mean? How's people gonna know who it is that you is speaking to? Then I got to, kind of thinking about myself more. Okay, I'm praying you, I'm seeking you, I'm trying to find out what it is that you're saying. And now here it is, we got this. And then I got reminded about the $15 billion that Mark Zuckerberg lost in one day. Back in, I think it was 2020, 2019. I got reminded about that, and I got reminded about how the enemy has always tried to smother God's word, keep God's word from coming out, and keep it from being known, the people that are truly seeking it from the heart. Because today I got reminded about Matthew chapter 24, when I was seeking the Lord, and some other things. And and I went to thinking about too, excuse me, I went to thinking about too, about how the videos that I posted before that happened with the corona stuff, the videos that I posted, how those videos disappeared. The video with me seeing the man with the black face and the one with the black hat with shovels digging holes, like graves, and then me seeing a lot of bodies stacked up to where they was like in trucks and stuff like that. How I was seeing all this stuff before it happened, and how I took and posted those videos, and those videos disappeared. You can't find the videos. Or how it is when I posted a video back in 2018, was on 9/11 or either the day after 9/11, but I had an encounter with an angel, and the angel that I had an encounter with looked like my uncle. And when he was coming down the stairs, I was like saying, why is you coming here to get your mother? That's your mother. If anything, you're supposed to be protecting your mother. And this is what I was picking up in the spirit. And sometimes you can hear a voice without seeing the angels or the spirit mouse move. I've had these encounters many times. And I thought that it was demonic at first, but I realized all that was revealing to me is that, hey, she's getting ready to leave soon, and she's going to be with us, and as this was happening, he told me what I was speaking. He said it come to me about the numbers 778 and 779. Whenever I see them, to pay attention. And this is way back then, and since then, the places that I've been finding the number 778 and 779 in the Bible, been in powerful places. I done talked about some of them. Even that in Luke chapter 1, when I took and I did that. If you pay attention to that message, if they ain't take it down, I didn't know that they was taking down all the videos now after 30 days. So I'm sitting up and I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking about how certain people that, doing nothing but speaking things, the Trump, like he doing everything, they got access to where they can take and they can keep what they saying up, or they can take and get something else that somebody else is saying, and they can speak it like it came from them. So I'm thinking about all this, but at the same time, I'm thinking too, God is God, and He's going to expose it, because He keep on making it known to me about Matthew chapter 24, verse 24. But He's telling me to pay attention from verse 1 all the way to 24, but he's always reminding me about verse 24. And like I said, it's a lot of men and women of God that I truly look up to. I really believe they're real prophets, real men and women of God. But I'm seeing some things that's not of God. Just like it's some things in me that's not of God. You know, today when I was praying and that happened, talking to God and the word, and that began to happen, our first thing I thought about was what Jeremiah Johnson said, someone who I respect a lot. He spoke about how spirits was going to start talking up out of people, other voices. And when that happened, that's the first thing that I thought of. Then when I went to seek the Lord again, I said, Lord, if this is really, really you that's speaking to me, help me to understand this. How can something this take over me like that and get to speaking out of me? And then it came back to me. If you taking and you yielding yourself, your vessel, to the Lord, then the Holy Spirit will speak through you. Then I relaxed a little bit and I got to thinking about that. Then I thought about what happened upstairs when I was upstairs, and I just went into a trance and started prophesying. And that's what it was. It was straight up prophesied. And I went to doing it like Bishop Shears was standing right in front of me. I went to telling him, and this was back in February last year, how God, it was coming to me, how God wanted him. And I'm sitting up there saying to myself, like, I'm prophesying to this man like he right here. This shouldn't be. He's not here. But I realized there's no distance in the spirit. And I realized that we are connected in some type of way. And it went to coming to me about how God wanted him to take the next 30 days off because God wanted to tell him some things and wanted to talk to him about some things. And it was some things that, you know what I mean, I guess God was really saying, wanting him to avoid and not participate in. And I believe that one of them was that had to do with Kamala Harris. That's my belief. That's what I'm saying. Because it was coming to me that he was constantly getting visitations from his mother and his father, and you know what I mean. And whenever I pick up on the spirit or I get the sense of things, I will always sense that they would be around him trying to warn him about some things. And this went on for a while. And then I finally was given the message in May to warn the Church of God in Christ. If that ain't took that down, that message should still be up there. But it took me 3-4 months to even give that message. And God had been giving me that message even before February. So I got great respect for him and other people. And sometimes when I say stuff, people say, oh, here he come now. But I believe God was trying to warn him in different ways about not getting involved. There was some other things that God had wanted to show him and reveal to him. But everybody was caught up in that cycle, just like I got engulfed with it. You know, just like I got engulfed with it. And I wasn't, you know, even though God was talking to me, I was going the other route. Like, Lord, it can't be. And it kept on being revealed to me 45, 47. 45, and in the ways that was just powerful. And then when I finally ended up getting guided back to that was Zechariah chapter 7. And remember what I was being revealed to me in 2018 and so forth. Other stuff started to make sense to me. Anyway, I don't know how long I got on this, so let me go on to take and do this. But it's something going on that we truly need to pay attention with. Because everybody talking about freedom of speech. Everybody's talking about receipts. But for this all of a sudden to happen with Facebook, and the only way that you can take and do this now to keep your video is to hide the cloud thing. It's a money thing. But at the same time, it's a control and manipulation thing too. It's truly about this, but it's also another way of erasing other things. And we need to pay attention to this, y'all. This happened now. Okay? But it's always been about, you know, and I ain't putting this on Trump, but I'm just saying pay attention. He got banned from Facebook. and Twitter and all that. And then when they was taking and doing this, they was speaking about freedom of speech, people having freedom of speech to say what they want to say and what they're putting out there, getting out there and all that. But if you pay attention to this right here that's going on with Facebook right now, you taking and you doing something, but after 30 days is taken down. And they can easily keep it where you can keep your videos up, easily. But now you got to have cloud or pay $9-10 a month with Google to keep the stuff up to where they ain't being taken down. Why? And everybody don't know how to do that, and everybody don't have the money to take and do that. Just pay attention to it. It had me a little stirred up in the spirit, but I got to really get it in my heart and my mind. Either way that it go, when it's from God, He's gonna make it known. They ain't gonna be able to continue to smother it, because the things that's coming to me, I'm gonna tell you, if it's from God, God getting ready to take and deal with a lot of these men and women of God that was gatekeepers, people that He done had His hand on in a powerful way, and they just done turned their back on Him. They done made themselves God to the point where they're not, things that He's saying they're not listening to. And I'm understanding that He wants me to get this, because He has me reading in the morning and at night. Morning when I get up, I got to read 1 Samuel chapter 3. And then I got to read Ezekiel 7, 8, and 9. And I got to do the same thing at night until I go to sleep. I got to do that in the morning and night, and then I got to read Ezekiel chapter 8 and Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1 to 9, every time after I pray. And I'm starting to get that He really, really, really wants me to get the understanding of the things that's not right in the church, that started in the church and now affecting the world. Because you pay attention to 1 Samuel chapter 3 and you pay attention to Ezekiel chapter 8, God make it known. I'm going to read one verse, then I'm going to get off into this message. Let's read Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 17. And if we just pay attention to this verse, if we pay attention to this verse right here, it says, then He said unto me, this is Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 17. Then He said unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abomination which they commit here? For they have filled the land with violence. For they have filled the land with violence. You're talking about people in the church and the corruption and stuff that they've been doing. For they have filled the land with violence and have returned to provoke me to anger. Lo, they put the branch to their nose. And we know what the branch is. That's an extension of God's hand. They taking a thump and they nose at this extension, this hand that God has put out to them with love. But anyway, let me go on and get off into this, man, because this data thing, how this going, I'm trying to save it, but I just realized I truly got to leave it in His hands. So let's go to what come to me earlier today. Today, this is what happened at 2/20/2025 at 12:43 noon. As I was reading John chapter 14, verse 26, I was talking to the Lord, asking Him to fill me again, and asking Him, was it Him that told me to read Exodus chapter 7 and other chapters in Exodus, and other chapters in Exodus. Then I started to read chapter 7, verse 1 to 12. So let me stop here. I was doing what I told y'all to do in this last video that probably ain't going to be up there too much longer because of this 30-day thing. But I was doing what I told y'all to do, to read the verse, to talk to Him, and to ask Him questions. That's what I was doing. Same thing I told y'all to do. Okay? So I was asking Him again, again, as I was reading John chapter 14, verse 26, I was talking to the Lord, asking him to fill me again, and asking him, was it him that told me to read Exodus chapter 7 and other chapters in Exodus? I then started to read Exodus chapter 7. It's real important. I'm asking him, then I started reading Exodus chapter 7, verse 1 to 12. Very important. Pay attention, please. After I read verse 12, I started to ask again, was it him that had me reading these chapters all this time? All this time. I then was taken over by a deep voice that spoke out of me in another tongue. So when this time I started thinking about what Jeremiah Johnson said, okay? In another tongue. As the voice spoke, I seen scepters being taken from many places throughout this nation. These scepters was coming from everywhere. They was being taken, okay? And Jati. I seen fire burning in different churches throughout this nation and had a feeling it was a cleansing fire. I seen that the golden ancient Egyptian city being destroyed. I seen this old ancient Egyptian city is gold. Everything made out of gold. But I seen it unfolding and being destroyed. I had this vision more than 3 or 4 times. Okay. City being destroyed. I seen Pharaoh falling or being removed. Okay. That spirit that started with the B, I can't pronounce that spirit that started with the B, Baphmouth. It got horns on it, and it looked like the devil, Baphmouth. I can't pronounce it. Being destroyed or dissolving until it disappeared. The spirit, it was like someone was sucking the spirit. And the spirit was going from being in a form into what looked like, how can I say, like you ever seen mist when you have mist or a cloud, when a falling cloud when it's coming down and it comes together and then it might get narrow. Where this was happening with the spirit, the form of the spirit was like it was being sucked on something and it was going into something and it disappeared. This the spirit of Baphmouth, how do you pronounce that? Being destroyed or dissolving until it disappeared. The voice continued to speak continue to speak as I did this, or as it did this, it then spoke out of me not one word. It then spoke out of me, not one word will fall. I then spoke this again. Okay, it came to me, not one word will fall. It then come to me and I spoke this again, is what I'm trying to say. Not one word will fall. I then was told to read Jeremiah chapter 7 and Isaiah chapter 19. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 7, the whole chapter, and Isaiah chapter 19, verse 1 to 3, and Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 31 to 33. The Spirit continued to speak in a tongue for a few more minutes. I then seen 6 doors open in the lower parts of this nation, and 4 doors open in the corner of this nation, like the 4 corners of the nation. I seen spirits being released. It looked like it was coming out, but it looked like what was coming out was like what was sucked in from the spirit but it was taken and coming out, and they was forming. They was coming out of these doors, okay, and these gates that was open. Okay, so this later on, 2025. As I spoke in tongues and sung to the Lord, asking him to take me to the foot of the cross once more. I spoke in tongues again as I thought about the word being preached all over the world, and as I thought about prophetess Tiffany Montgomery and Apostle Victoria Renzi. You know, I was thinking about them and the gathering and stuff that they was having today and whatnot, and was hoping that, you know, God is moving in a powerful way. So I was thinking about them speaking in tongues, praising the Lord. The tongues stopped, and I began to pay attention to Africa in these next few months. I understand why this came, because nothing else came. I don't understand why this came, okay, forgive me. I don't understand why this came to me, because nothing else came with it. So it didn't make sense, is what I'm trying to say. Just recall being reminded about Genesis, what I did with Genesis from 37 all the way to 50, and Exodus, what I was being told to do in Exodus, you know what I mean? And then it come to me again, Matthew chapter 24, verse 1 to 24. So, you know, all this is going on. I'm asking God, was this really him? Because it was a thing all the way from the beginning of last year, all the way to last month with Genesis and Exodus. But this actually started way before then, back in 2016, 2017. So this has been an ongoing thing. Matter of fact, I can go back to 2013, 2014 with Joseph, okay? So this has been an ongoing thing for over a decade. So I'm asking the Lord, excuse me, because I'm like, you know, I've been constantly doing this, reading this, and different things been getting revealed to me. You know, is this really you that's speaking to me? So it's basically, after all this, I was reflecting on what was said to me before. Not one word will fall. But here it is, the way that I was taken over was similar to like what happened yesterday, and was similar to what didn't happen to me many times. Only thing is, the voice that spoke, it was deep. And that kind of had me wonder, okay, Lord, is this truly you? And at the same time that his voice was speaking, I was seeing all these other spirits go. I just didn't see the spirit of Baphomet, how you pronounce that. I seen other spirits too. I seen men and women of God. You know what I mean? That God's getting ready to deal with for real. Okay? I feel that today what was going on, if this ain't God speaking to me, then there's a reason why this is happening with this 30-day thing. As far as I'm concerned. Because if God is speaking, you can't smother his word. So that'll mean that going all the way back to the first time when he ever had me reading Ezekiel chapter 33, that it was never him. That's the only way I could take a look at that. All this with me was something else if this is not God speaking to me. Because I believe in what I was reading today. John chapter 14, verse 26. John chapter 15, verse 26. John chapter 16, verse 13. And this what else happened a little later. Okay. I didn't write it down. Okay, I read some. Yeah, I did that right. Anyway, what I'm trying to say to y'all is that I know today I tried my hardest to open up my heart to him. And I believe when you take and you do that and you come into him like that, I believe that God will show up. And I believe today he heard me and he felt me. And he know I just want to know. Not that I wish ill on nobody, because I did more wrong than all these men. Today I sat up as I was talking to the Lord and praying to him another time today and went to crying because I remember how he saved me that day in the hotel room when I was sniffing cocaine and smoking cocaine 51 to the point where I was taking sniff, I had my hand on my chest, heart beating, ready to explode, smoking and a heart beating fast. Couldn't stop. But he said, he's going to kill himself, and I ain't ready for him to go. And help me to go to sleep. I had plenty of cocaine still there. I just hit a lick. I couldn't stop, and I thought about that today and just went to crying. I thought about the time when gunfire was going on, and the person that I was with, they was shooting back at the other person. And when I got ready to get in the car, when I got in, this hand was on the door reaching in, and this arm was trying to get away. And the person that was shooting back that had my back, he was shooting, and the bullet that he shot at the other person went straight up under my left arm. I'm not sure out. Could he hit me straight? That's where your heart is on this side. Could he hit me then? And I got to thinking about that and other things. I just started crying because I knew that was God that kept that bullet from hitting me in the chest and allowed it to go up on me. Because ain't nowhere in the world a person could know exactly how to take and do what he was doing to make the bullet miss me. That was God having me to come in the car in the right way and his hand to move in the right. Because everything was happening quick. And when everything happened quick, mistakes happen unless God is there. I thought about how I was in this house I ain't had no business being in, but I was there because I was getting high and just was in places I had no business being in. And I was held down by spirits. I know a lot of people going, I was held down by spirits. And I went to calling out to the Lord. And I wasn't high this day. I was not high. But we had just been on like a 3 or 4 day or get high, and a couple of days when didn't have no money, was sitting there looking stupid. And I was just laying down. And as I was laying down just thinking, all of a sudden I couldn't move. And I'm looking around like, okay, Lord, what's going on? You know, I'm not saying Lord at that particular time. I'm telling a lie. But I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? Then when I realized that when I was upstairs getting high, I kept on feeling the presence of something, but didn't understand it was spirits in that house where I was. And the spirits was taking and holding me down at that particular time. And I called out to the Lord, and the spirits let me go. And I had other encounters even before I turned my life around and started seeking God. I fight with spirits right now. Spirits are attacking me. Sometimes I wake up out of my sleep and my stomach be out from me, stuff taking and pulling on me. Then I stick my hands in my pocket, start blowing out air. I mean, I could go on and on about stuff. I know other people battling too. It's made clear in Ephesians chapter 6. We battle not with flesh and blood, but with principalities and rulers and dogs. It's made clear. But something is wrong anytime that you're always battling all the time. Something wrong when you go to a church and ain't no power there to help you. Something wrong when you're sitting up in the church and you know that there's power there and the power ain't moving. Something wrong with that. But I need to get back to this one part. I'm going to Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 15, okay? And I need to read this because when I got to that verse, as I was reading the whole chapter, this what happened. I read verse 14. Verse 14 say, therefore will I do unto this house which is called by my name, wherein ye trust, and unto the place which I gave to you and to your fathers, as I've done to Shiloh. Okay? Then when I read verse 15, and I will cast you out of my sight, as I have cast out all your brothers, even the whole city of Ephraim. When I got to that verse, it came to me. Someone spoke, be careful, President Trump. Now, last year when I was studying this, when he had me reading this every day, as I was reading this verse began to speak to me, because I know that back then in Genesis, I think it was 49, I believe it was, no, 48, when Jacob took and laid his hands up on Ephraim and bestowed the biggest blessing up on Ephraim, and Manasseh got the other one. He elevated Ephraim. But later on, come to find out, because of Ephraim's seed and things that they did, this ended up happening when it says right here, and I will cast you out of my sight, as I have cast out all your brothers, even the whole seed of Ephraim. And last year when I was reading it, this spoke to me so loud about President Trump. And it did it even before I realized the numbers that was there. So the thing of it is, what I began to understand here it is that God was taking and putting his hand of blessings, extending his hand of blessings upon President Trump. If President Trump listened, and this can be a generational thing. That's why when I heard the other prophet, Tommy, I can't pronounce his name, speak about the golden age and how is President Trump going to do this thing, whether it be for 4 years, or is this going to be a generational thing? When I heard that, I was able to relate to it, because what was revealed to me even before he spoke this.